NFL player props here on PrizePicks for Monday Night Football. 2 games on the slate: Buffalo, Tennessee, Minnesota, Philadelphia. This is the only Monday Night Football I think that we're going to have 2 games on the slate. A ton of elite players in this game, a ton of elite wide receivers in these games, a lot of player props to choose from as well. So I'm going to give 3 total player props that I like from these 2 games, Monday Night Football. Before I get started, there's a link in the description below to sign up for PrizePicks, or you can use code TUFF to sign up. They will match 100% of your first deposit. There is also a Discord link in the description, as well as a Patreon link where I give all my bonus plays for every sport: NFL, MLB, NBA coming up very, very soon. Multiple posts on Patreon every single day. Go and check that link out. We actually did pretty well yesterday on NFL Patreon plays on PrizePicks. Here's how we did. A lot of green, some red as well. I mean, this Robbie Anderson, Baker Mayfield obviously get tied together. Cordero let us down. Younghoe Koo had missed a field goal. And Ramondre Stevenson had 2 receiving targets instead of 3. But overall, a nice green day, in my opinion, on Patreon plays. Go ahead and check the Patreon link out in the description of this video. But let's get into it, you guys. 3 props that I like here: Buffalo, Tennessee, Minnesota, Philly. Ton of props to choose from. Like I said, again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not gambling advice. These are just plays I'm personally looking at making. But yeah, let's get into it, you guys. 3 props. Let's go. So the first one I like is going to be a rush yards, and we're going to take Dalvin Cook over 71.5. I think of him, Miles Sanders, Derrick Henry, and I guess Singletary. This is the most value in my opinion at Dalvin Cook at 71.5. In week 1 against Green Bay, he had 90 rush yards. He's hit this 4 of his last 5. So surprising, honestly, it is at 71.5. I think maybe this could bump, but Dalvin Cook here, just an absolute monster. And this, honestly, to me, comes down to just health. If he's able to play the whole game, I think they feed him in this game. He had 20 rushing attempts for 90 yards against Green Bay, who has a pretty stout rush defense overall. But he had 20 rushing attempts here in this game. And even dating back to last season, if he stays healthy, plays the entire game, I think he's good for at least 20-plus rushing attempts in this game as well. I think Philadelphia wants to run the ball, so I think that in the combination of Dalvin Cook, they're going to feed him, right? They have to feed him in this game. I think Kirk Cousins threw the ball quite a bit, attacking that Green Bay Packers zone defense a little bit more as opposed to Philadelphia's defense. And Philly recently, when they played Detroit in week 1, they gave up, DeAndre Swift had 15 carries for 144 yards. Jamal Williams also had 11 carries for 28. So they gave up 28 carries for 181 yards total. I think Dalvin Cook absolutely feasts tonight. I think they feed him heavily. I like his over 71.5 rush yards against, a Philadelphia Eagles defense who just gave up. And this one I like the most, honestly, in my opinion. It's going to be Darius Slay over 3.5 tackles plus assists here against Minnesota. I love this play here for a few reasons. One, in week 1, Darius Slay a ton on Justin Jefferson, who's going to get at least 11 targets in this game. So a player like Darius Slay, who's I would consider, one of the top 10 cornerbacks in the NFL, guarding Justin Jefferson, he's going to be on him all game, probably shadowing him. When these cornerbacks, when their tackles and assists is set at a certain line, and they're facing an elite wide receiver who gets a ton of targets, it provides a lot of value. And Darius Slay at 3.5, coming off a game where he had 6 in week 1 against Detroit. I love this matchup even more. Facing Justin Jefferson, I love the over here. Darius Slay over 3.5 tackles plus assists. I think it's a no-brainer in my opinion. At 3.5, I think we've been seeing a lot of value here at tackles plus assists as well. Pretty much, I think actually every tackles plus assist prop I've played or gave on this YouTube channel or on Patreon has hit. Darius Slay shadowing Justin Jefferson, 3.5 tackles plus assists. I like the over on this one. And then the last prop is going to be an interesting one, but I think I like it. It's going to be a receptions prop, and it's going to be Jeff Swaim over 1.5 receptions. Now, this is a little interesting one because they did sign Austin Hooper in the offseason. Everyone said Austin Hooper was going to be the go-to tight end. He was a sleeper in fantasy. But in week 1, he only had 1 catch, right? And Jeff Swaim had 3. Now, I also like this because they're going to, obviously, Tennessee, they're going to have to throw in this game. They're going to have to. Buffalo has an elite offense, so Buffalo's going to be scoring the ball. And Tennessee's going to have to throw in this game to win the game. Obviously, they're going to feed Derrick Henry, but they're going to have to throw the football in this game to have a chance to win, in my opinion. And Jeffrey Swaim here, if you take a look at the game log, he had 4 targets for 3 catches for 19 yards. So not a ton of, yardage on the plays, but Buffalo has a pretty elite passing defense. So, I mean, those corners are going to be on, Jordan Boyer and things like that are going to be on Robert Woods, Treylon Burks, and even Kyle Phillips. It's going to allow Jeffrey Swim to be open quite a bit. And Ryan Tannehill, take a look at this stat. Since taking over as a starter week 6 of 2019, 24% of Tannehill's targets have gone to tight ends. More importantly, 25 of Tannehill's 76 touchdown patches over that span have gone to tight ends as well. We know Tannehill loves to target the tight end. 1.5 receptions for Jeffrey Swim. I mean, seems like a pretty strong play here, considering also he did dominate the snap count for the Titans. He had 73% of the snaps compared to Austin Hooper at 61.7. A lot of double tight end sets as well for the Titans. Mike Vrabel likes to have 2 tight ends out there. Last year, of course, they had Delaney Walker and Jonnu Smith and things like that. So Jeff Swaim, 73% snaps, 1.5 receptions. I like the over on this one. So these are the 3 props I'm giving for this YouTube video. Dalvin Cook over 71.5 rush yards, Darius Slay over 3.5 reception or tackles plus assists, and Jeff Swaim over 1.5 receptions. Again, hopefully it's a great green day here. Let me know in the comments below you guys feel about these props. Drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and as always, have a great day.